What is going on? I want to welcome you to the Pizza Palace. Today I am joined by the third host of the Morning Woodward Show. We saved the best for last, too. It's not Adam. It's not Jeff. We got Maddy Miller of Woodward Sports. Maddy, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had to. We got to round out the whole Morning Woodward Show crew. You know what I mean?
For sure. We're the
Oh,
best.
yeah,
Don't talk
yeah.
else.
And you're the brave one of the troop because, I mean, you're the one that has to steer the ship and keep everything going and keep
Somebody has to
fish.
tell Adam what to do.
Oh my, yeah. Good luck with that. Trying to keep Adam, Jeff, and Fish all on track. I mean, you're especially before 9 a.m. That's just bravery right there.
We have a good time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maddy, my first question before we get into like sports and just really dive in. For those at home that might not know a whole ton about Woodward Sports still, because they might not have seen that I'm part of Woodward Sports, you're part of Woodward Sports. What would you tell people about it, and what would you tell people about what you do there?
Man, Woodward Sports. There's very few words to describe what Woodward Sports actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a group of probably the best people you can assemble that just likes to talk about sports and literally give our opinions about what's going on in Detroit, what's going on nationally. We talk about everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Braylon Edwards, we have Darren McCarty. We've got these guys that have been in the games, have been here, have been there, and still continue to be passionate about it. So it's super awesome. I mean, we're an upgraded Barstool Sports, if you will.
Oh heck yeah.
Like way upgrade.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And yeah, I host the morning show. I do some clips of Instagram, TikTok, whatever you have you. I like to have a lot of fun. You'll know. I don't do a whole lot seriously, but we
Matt,
have a good time.
Matt, I'm a very serious person. If you couldn't tell from all my times being on
For
the show with
sure.
you guys, yeah, I take everything very seriously, so that won't be tolerated here. No, no, totally just kidding. That's awesome though. So how are you? So are you originally from the Detroit area? Like as far as like as far as being part of Woodward Sports, talking about Detroit sports, like did you grow up in Detroit or because I was curious about your story. I know I think I saw on Twitter that you worked for ESPN for a little bit. Is that right? So
Yeah, so I grew up in Rochester, so
okay.
a little north of Detroit. But yeah, I worked for ESPN for the last 5 years, 4.5.
Wow.
Um, Sideline reporting for Oakland University's basketball team.
Oh,
So
no way. That's awesome.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
know Bradley Brechting?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I actually went to preschool with him. I've known him since like we were little kids. We went to high school together, same graduating
I
class
love
and
that.
everything.
Scroll through my Instagram and you'll find a picture of him and I.
Oh man, I am so sorry. No, I'm totally kidding. Brad's no, good guy, talented basketball player. So
For sure.
yeah, that's awesome. So you must have known Neil Rule quite a bit then too before starting at Woodward as well. Then right? That must
Yes,
have been a
I
perfect,
did.
perfect connection.
It was awesome. I didn't know Neil worked at Woodward when I was invited to work for Woodward. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's do this
Yeah,
thing!"
that's all. Yeah, and to your point, there are just so many cool voices there. I mean, obviously, I joke, but I mean, Adam and Jeff in the morning show are awesome. Braylon,
Amazing.
yeah, Braylon Edwards is top notch, top class. Darren McCarty's a badass, and just the fact that like we get to call him coworkers still feels weird.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but
Like fangirling, but not.
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm just sitting there and like he's asking me I'm like, "Sure, I'll to answer that for you, four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, who shouldn't breathe the same air as me." You
I
know?
just want to walk around and just be like,
Yeah, exactly. He just walks around has them four rings on all the time. That's the power move right there.
"Oh, for sure.
Oh
For
my
sure."
gosh. So growing up in Detroit then or growing up near the Detroit area, what was your relationship like growing up like with Detroit sports? Like were you a diehard fan of all four teams growing up? Were there certain teams you gravitated towards more than others? What was your upbringing like with
Yes.
Detroit sports?
So I was blessed with three brothers. Shocker.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where like my love for sports grew. So I've grew up playing sports. I played basketball when I was younger. I was a figure skater.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
my brothers played baseball, basketball, hockey, all the above.
Mhm.
Um, my favorite sport has been hockey my entire life.
Okay.
Uh, just something about being around the rink the whole time.
Oh yeah.
My parents left me at the rink a few times. This was pre-cell phones, so
Oh no.
I would just go sit in the rink and watch hockey and be there.
Yeah. Just
But
find the Zamboni driver, have him call home.
right. Can you call my mom? Well, she would have to show up like a couple hours later for my brother's hockey practice, so I would just
Oh,
sit there and wait.
that's perfect.
But yeah, so I've honestly like loved every sport just because I got to know it all. They did football, they did, all the above. So it was just so easy for me to pick up on everything. And later in life, not I guess not later, but from middle school through college, I cheered.
Oh
So
wow,
I
nice.
sideline for best seats in the house
Oh
for
yeah,
football
absolutely.
and basketball. So I got to learn a lot, and everyone always looked at me for what was happening during the games because nobody else had any idea what was going on.
You're
So
there you go.
got
I mean,
to-
that's power though too. I mean,
oh,
having
for
that
sure.
knowledge and everyone looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's I formation. They're about to run it up the slot. They're like, what's an I formation?
Do they have the ball? What does that mean?
Oh man, that's
I
awesome.
I coached cheerleading a little bit ago, and I actually made my girls. They were in high school. I made them take a test
Good.
on like what's happening during the football games because I was like, you've got to know. You just have to know.
Yeah,
And the
100%.
responses were hysterical.
You're just like I can only imagine what grading those tests would have been like.
It was hilarious.
Oh my
Absolutely hilarious.
Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. So with that, do you have like are there like any like specific like moments that you think of as a kid, like growing up, like your favorite moments that you remember from watching like Detroit sports? I know for me, I grew up with that. My first memory was that 03-04 Pistons team, and then growing up with Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, Ben,
Oh,
Rashid. Yeah, there are so many great memories there. So for me, I know I have a ton, but if there's like,
yeah.
are there any specific memories that stick out in your head?
Specific, no, because my passion for sports didn't come until later on in life.
That makes sense.
I just knew everything. I
Right.
was like, people would be talking, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But for me, like one of my best moments when I growing up was I was able to go on the court at the Palace
Oh
before
yeah.
games and shake all the hands of the players, and that was when it was Chauncey and all them, and it was like yes, and like I didn't know what it meant at the time, but now I'm like, wow, this is so cool that I did that.
Yeah, yeah. It could seem like nothing to you back then, but then it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my God, those guys are legends. What the heck?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
my
like
my biggest pinch me moment of like meeting an athlete like that I think back of and I go, how did this happen? My hometown did like they had like a Meyer open up and apparently they got Magic Johnson to come do an autograph signing. And so I got to meet Magic Johnson when I was like 8 years old. And like I knew a little bit about Magic, but like obviously like after that, I'm like, I met Magic Johnson? What the like
right.
that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
I love it. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So I know for me, I was definitely pitching myself when that happened. But no, that's awesome. Yeah, but I
Mhm.
know one of the sporting memories you did grow up with because you admitted to this the last time I was on the morning show is your fandom for Russell Westbrook. And
Oops.
oh yeah, there you go,
That's
there
what
you
Brad
go.
am I
Hey,
doing?
hey, you're repping him. You're repping him when he was good. That's okay.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, like, how did that
I'm
go
not here to admit.
about? Yeah, how did that go about? What was your fandom like being a Russell Westbrook fan?
Oh man. Well, listen, you got a guy who consistently triple doubled. I'm sorry. I know Adam talks crap about that all day long, but he's literally so talented. I don't know where that went, by the way,
Yeah,
but
I
at one
mean,
time,
uh,
at one time,
yeah, Mother
just
Nature's undefeated, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He's on this team with no one, and
mhm.
he's like, "Hey, here I am. I'm just gonna do me. I'm not gonna make you guys any better, but I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be the star on this team." And I was like, "Man, you go." And that's like when I was starting to do like broadcast journalism and all that stuff. And like, he is the most savage person to watch like during interviews.
Yup.
And I was like, I want to interview you so bad because this is hilarious. And he'd be like, oh, the reporter would be like, oh, what happened at this point in the game? Blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, were you there?
Yeah.
Did you see it? Okay, then why are we asking this question?
Yeah, I remember the one where he's just sitting at his locker and they're asking him questions. He gets fed up, and at the end he's like, "All right, he just goes, "Man, what the fuck was that?" Like, yeah, there is no athlete that will just be more brutally honest
Oh
with a
my God,
reporter.
I loved it. I loved it. And I was like, you know what? You're this good. You can be that way. Like, you go do you. And I just loved his like savage personality behind it. And I was like, hey, as long as you can back it up on the court, that's all that matters.
Oh,
And he did.
100%.
So he
Yeah.
doesn't anymore.
Well,
Now,
being a sideline reporter or being someone that has to ask those kinds of questions. Have you had that kind of moment yet where an athlete's reacted like
not even an athlete, but like a coach.
really?
Oh, yeah. I got trolled on Twitter too. It was bad.
Oh god, which coach? Who was it?
Oh, it was Greg Campy for sure. I've known him since I was 8 years old. Full
Okay.
disclosure.
Okay.
He coached my brother's baseball team growing up,
Mhm.
and his son and my brother were played together, whatever. But yeah, I I don't even remember what came out of my mouth. I said something about them, like I don't know. I said something about them having a sizable lead, and I think they only had like a 16-point lead, so it wasn't even like
It wasn't like huge. It was like their
yeah.
games
And he
very
just
yeah.
went off. He was like, sizable lead. What are you talking about? We played like crap, this, that, and the other thing. You know, I was like, my bad.
And you're just like, back to
And then
you.
he literally like stopped, and I wasn't like ready for him to even stop talking because he just went off on this whole tangent. And he stopped, and I was like, oh shit, you're done. And he was like, I caught you off guard with that one, didn't I? And I was like, you never catch me off guard. Honestly, I'm always used to you being like this, but yes. So
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
that.
Hey, that's just got to be one of those welcome to the sideline moments. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, and the funny thing is that was like year 3. Like I had
oh
been there,
man.
done that for a while, and like I don't know what was going on. It's fine.
Oh my
We all have
goodness.
those days.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So I guess that if you know, obviously you kind of like later in your life like grew kind of like that passion for sports, obviously doing like broadcast journalism stuff.
Mhm.
Was there in that time, like when that passion was growing, was there like a specific moment in the sports world that did catch your eye or something that kind of sparked that passion for you that like you wanted to be that person to help kind of tell those stories?
Yeah, so when I was in high school is when I like was trying to decide what I wanted to do.
Right.
Obviously, I knew I wanted to do broadcasting, and I was like, I have all this sports knowledge, like might as well use it.
Yeah.
So I like just from honestly being sideline at so many games, and then like in college being sideline and seeing the sideline reporters and seeing like all the like Big Ten network and like their game days and college game day and like all that stuff. I was like, oh my God, that's what I like, that's what I want. That's what I
Yeah.
want to do. Samantha Ponder is like my favorite person in this whole world.
Mhm.
Um, and she just like the way she posts on Instagram and like that's kind of where everything grew for me. So like it was like it grew through a journalism perspective,
Mhm.
my sports, and then from that is where I just was like, wow, I actually do love sports. I don't just want to talk, or I don't just know everything about it.
Yeah, it's people can like who aren't in the sports world can just immediately dismiss it, just be like, they're just playing a game. Who cares?
Mhm.
But like I don't think people realize just like, you know, like all like how like bigger than life a lot of these stories can be. And like
Yeah,
how
and
much
I'm
this
obsessed with like the narrative behind a lot of players.
oh,
So it's
yeah.
like, where did you come from? What did you do? How'd you get here? Like, I love like all that stuff. And it was so much more interesting back when like, I mean, LeBron was the last of them, but back when they could come from high school.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, like even like like I hate on LeBron all the time because you know Detroit
Mhm.
versus everybody. But I mean, you know, like I mean for like there's no other profession where like a kid can come from that kind of, you know, home life, that kind of background, that kind of struggle, and then become this mogul, multimillionaire that's a household name that that kids look up to around the world. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And just all the ebbs and flows and the highs and lows. And when he left Cleveland, like people like the Cleveland economy literally
Oh
crashed when
my
he left
God.
Cleveland the first time.
Right?
It's like people don't
Crazy.
realize it's like these have like these insane implications. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's
Hmm.
unreal. It really
But
is.
Cleveland has Baker Mayfield now. They'll be fine.
Did you act? Yeah, exactly. They got Baker. He's the next LeBron, right?
My God.
Did you see, by the way, he wrote a thank you letter to the
What?
fans of Cleveland?
Yes.
What did you think about that? Did you read it at all?
Well, I didn't read it. I was listening this morning before I went to the show to ESPN and or sports, yes, Sports Center, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he wrote a thank you note and said it had nothing to do with like the fact that he was leaving or whatever, being replaced or let
Yeah,
go or anything." And I'm sitting there thinking, "Uh-uh."
yeah,
I was like, "Uh-uh, you don't just write a thank you."
yeah. It's Cap. Hold on. Let me read it to you because I mean it's there's some shade in there.
Oh, I'm
All
sure.
right. It says Cleveland. The past 4 years have been nothing short of truly life changing since I heard my name called in the draft to go to Cleveland. This is not a message with hidden meaning. You know it's not when that's the second sentence.
Right.
This is
Uh-huh.
strictly to
Tell
say,
me
yeah,
more.
yeah, this is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. We have made many memories and shared growing in this process through all the ups and downs. I have no clue what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I have had during the duration of this process. I can only control what I can, which is trusting in God's plan throughout this process. I have given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level, and that will not change wherever I take my next snap. Whatever happens, I just want to say thank you to the fans who truly embraced who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people. Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story, and we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our lives. Sincerely, Baker Reagan Mayfield.
Hold up. He actually thinks someone's gonna take him?
Right? Well, not only that, but also I was like, man, you have the I mean, no matter your middle name's Reagan, that was political as all get out. But
Right?
yeah, part of me feels bad for him because he did play hurt for them. However, I mean, talk about a story. I mean, Cleveland not having a successful starting quarterback for all these years. They think they finally have it in Baker, and then the next 2 years happen,
Yeah.
and it just completely falls flat in their faces. And if I'm a Cleveland fan watching what Odell did after he
Well,
left the
that was
Browns,
the problem.
yeah, yeah, but Odell's the problem. He can't get touchdown passes. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Sure.
immediately goes to LA and looks like Odell in a New York Giants uniform.
Well, and scores the first touchdown in the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Yeah, and if he was in that Super Bowl, it would have been like a 20-30 point game.
For sure. The
Yeah.
fact that he got hurt was so annoying, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
okay.
100%. Speaking
I'm
of
glad
football,
they at least won for him.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of football, I would say probably the most prominent topic on the Morning Woodward show, Lions football specifically. What is it like
Sure.
day to day on a day to day basis to both have to deal with Lions fans in the comments of all forms? Which I will say it on the behalf. I will say it on your behalf because I know you're going to be political. Lions fans are batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They are. And like no other city is the draft the Super Bowl except in Detroit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I would just imagine it's probably been it's probably opened a whole new world to you in a way, I would imagine.
Oh, for sure. Like, never in my life did I think I would have to talk about the Lions this much. But but no, it's Lions fans, man. I love you to death,
Mm-hmm.
but there is something wrong with all of us, and I include myself in
Oh,
that.
we have a sickness, Maddie. It's incurable.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's yeah.
But like, this is the first year in my life that I actually feel like good about the
Right?
Lions.
Yeah, like it is. Yeah, this
My
is like
entire
the yeah, yeah, literally ever. Like this is the first time I've ever looked at like a GM and gone, Did he just
I don't
make like
question him.
yeah, did he just make the sensible move? Like was he just the adult in the room?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, that
No,
I'm not used to
I
that
don't
at all.
question him. I don't understand why. I just like because I think we talked about it today, where it's like he is the most successful coach to not have any success yet.
Right. Yeah.
He's given us so much hope and he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like the things that he has done in coincidence with Dan Campbell too, because it's like their decision making is where everything like has come from for me.
Right.
Because like even I mean last year they didn't fail in the draft, so cool. Like
Mhm.
gold star.
Yeah.
Then season's going, Dan Campbell decides I'm going to take play calling into my own hands.
Pretty
I
ballsy
love
move. Yeah, pretty ballsy move.
oh ballsy, but good for you for taking
Well,
initiative.
especially when he's literally never called plays before. Like
I know.
when not even at the NFL level, and to take a guy with Anthony Lynn, which say what you will about his time and with the Chargers and all that, a high quality NFL level offensive coordinator, and say, how about you take the back seat? I'll take over for the rest of the year. And then to see the success that actually came out of that
Yeah,
that was awesome.
crazy. And I
Yeah.
love it because it's like you made that tough decision to do that and you didn't go back on it and
Right.
you succeeded. And I love that because like to have the like you said the balls to even make that decision at all
Yeah.
is huge. And it gives like I mean, were we scared? Not really because we weren't winning.
Right.
So like what did it matter?
Yeah,
But like
exactly.
okay, might as well while you're not winning, make decisions like that. And like him showing that he could do that and was willing to do that. And it was the first decision to for me to be like, oh, you go. Like
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, and I don't think you can make like any like definitive judgments on a person after 1 year. However, I think you can have a good sense of like, their character and how they handle themselves and how they can
For
handle
sure.
especially like first year in Detroit, how they can handle adversity,
Detroit.
right? Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
Right.
yeah, and for a guy to be the guy that played on that 0-16 team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To come and say, "Listen, man, I get it. I was on those sidelines." Like there's
Yep.
just a
He played
different
in the black jerseys, which I hope we bring back.
dude, okay, yes, thank you.
I
There
love
are
the black jerseys.
there are a lot of people that hate those jerseys. Those were fire.
Listen, there's a lot of people that hate the teal jerseys too for the Pistons, and I can
Thank
tell
you.
them the GTFO.
Thank you. This is a very pro teal podcast, so you knew your audience. Bonus points right there. Absolutely. I literally when Big Sean got brought into the Pistons organization, literally the first question I had and everyone had was, "Okay, but when's the teal coming back?" And that's
Yep.
still the most prominent question he gets.
Well, and it's so funny because I posted something about it on my story on Instagram and I got some hate for it. And people were like, oh, but people forget who the Pistons were when they had teal jerseys. And I go, they suck right now. You might as well make a
Yeah,
change.
exactly. Like if you
Like,
suck,
what?
yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, they were that then. That doesn't mean they can't be good in them now. It's not like it's just like you have been cursed to never be good in the teal a day in your life. Like it's not how that works. You know what I mean? These are all the sound effects I don't bring out on the morning show, by the way.
You should.
I
You
know.
absolutely should.
Next time I need to have like a God speaking down to Adam kind of thing. I'll bring that upon
I
him.
support it. I support it. He won't be ready at all. And
No.
I'll set you up for it. It'll be great.
There we go. Yeah, we'll start
Your
planning some.
introduction is just going to be incredible. And then you'll come out.
Yeah, we'll get I'll try to get some fog machines here next time too. We could just build the hype
Yeah.
even more. Yeah, we'll chat after and plan some details for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I actually told this story when I had Adam on my podcast, and I actually I've only been to one Lions game in my entire life, and
My first one was this year.
Your first one was this year? Which one did you
Yeah.
go to?
I went to the first game of the season.
Oh, okay, nice.
I actually went to quite a few this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I went to the first game of the season. Oh my God, I sat front row.
Yeah,
Thank you, Woodward Sports.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, so it was a blast.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you guys suck, but I love being here.
So my one Lions game was it was a few years ago. It was Monday Night Football, Lions Jets, which was, I'm not sure if you remember anything about that game. It was Matt Patricia's first game as head coach. It was Sam Darnold's first game as the New York
Oh,
Jets starting quarterback.
darn.
Eminem came out during the coin toss, like the Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem. I
Uh-huh.
love that.
And then the Lions get a pick six on the very first play. It was the most hype live moment I've ever been a part of in my entire life. And then we get the shit kicked out of us for the rest of the game. And like literally
Correct.
it was so empty by the end of the game. I was able to go down to the first row behind the 50-yard line by the Lions bench while 5,000 Jets fans were screaming Jets, 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 Jets right on the opposite sideline. Like they thought it was their year. Us Lions fans were like, "Oh, this guy isn't it." Like we knew it like right away. So
Yep.
so I have a special memory of the Matt Patricia era because I got to witness it fail from the very first night right in person.
So funny. So I worked at Channel 4
Oh,
um,
okay.
when that whole first year of Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got hired, I was at Channel 4, and um, I just remember everyone's reaction. His first press conference when he opened his mouth, everyone was like, "What is that voice?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?"
Yeah, he has the weirdest. I thought he was gonna have like this, like, yeah, we're glad to be out here playing football, and then he's like, yeah, we're confident in our football team. It's all about execution and just having the best execution.
Literally,
And I'm
it
like,
was the funniest thing because everyone was like, "Hold up,
yeah, who listened to that guy in an interview and said
that's
that's
our
what we
guy.
want?
That's Detroit."
Yeah, and then Dan Campbell comes out like, we're gonna fight like hell, man. We're gonna go out. We're gonna bite kneecaps, man. Yeah, like,
Literally.
we're right
Well, and
there.
we come from Caldwell,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
To Patricia,
exactly.
and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
eh.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've heard Jim Caldwell speak so many times. I still don't know what his voice sounds like.
No, because he whispered.
Yeah, he was just the quietest man on the
Because one of my favorite Lions memories, besides my first Lions game, because that's always really cool.
mm-hmm.
For those who haven't gone to a Lions game, I highly suggest it,
Yeah.
regardless of how bad they are. The atmosphere is just unmatched.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's like going to a Red Wings game. Like it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, I've been to one Red Wings game in my life too. I need to go to more. I need to go to more. I never got to go to the Joe either, which I'm bummed about.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah. So
I've been to the Joe so many
I
times.
actually went literally the weekend before the world shut down. I went like back to back. I went to a Red Wings game that Friday night. And then that Saturday night, I got to go see the Utah Jazz, which had Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. But the weird thing is it was Rudy Gobert when we didn't know he had COVID, but he had COVID. So like, it's like one of those things where it's like, it was just such like a surreal, weird experience to think back on. But yeah, I remember going to see the Red, and yeah, their atmosphere is crazy too, man. The history, the everything, like, you know, almost any other organization that we have in Detroit, we can look at and go like, oh, well, like they have great memories, but they're not like necessarily the top of their sport as far as like the best franchises.
And
but
that's like the Pistons, like the atmosphere at the Palace is way better than the atmosphere at Little Caesars.
It's getting better. It's getting
It
better.
is.
Yeah,
It is.
I think there's kind of two parts of it. First of all, when the towards the end of the time at the Palace, it was a shell of what it was like in like the 2000s. Like when because for years like they had like how many games in a row that sold out? It was like over 250 at one point. Like it
You were
was
buying tickets up in the nosebleeds,
oh
like
yeah,
real for real.
oh yeah, exactly. But like, you know, it's kind of like in Detroit, like at a certain point, if you're not giving us something to root for, we stop showing up. You know what I mean? Like especially like specifically like I remember like Tigers games used to being packed, and then like now like you look the last couple of years and the stands are just barren, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, in the other thing too, I just think especially when you're not good and you're not in Detroit, which was such a thing for so long. So like, you know, obviously, I think the atmosphere is getting better. At least when I went this year, when Cade was playing, the atmosphere was better than any time I'd been in a while. So I know it's
Yeah.
getting there.
The fans that are there are there.
Oh yeah.
Which makes the difference.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it's getting other people on board.
Yeah.
But
Maddie,
I've
we'll
gone
have to get
to
a Woodward crew to go, by the way,
oh
sometime.
heck yes. That
Mm-hmm.
would be so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm in.
I've been told by huge Pistons fans that I've gone with, they're like, man, this guy's crazy. So when I'm at a Pistons game, I'm a different level. I will warn you.
Okay. Like you ask Easy because Easy parties with me. So
Oh
you
yeah.
ask me what I'm
Oh
like.
oh my gosh.
Tell you.
Easy is my
The
guy.
heavyweights are my boys.
Easy's my boy. He's actually the one that got me into Woodward sports.
Really?
Yeah, so Easy and I, so kind of how this started. So for me, like, my moment was like when I was like in third grade. I watched Sports Center for the first time. Saw Stuart Scott just going booyah, like doing that kind of stuff all the time. And I knew when I was a little kid I wanted to talk basketball or wanted to talk sports in some capacity.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was possible, and I didn't know what way. You know what I mean? And so about a year ago, I kind of was like, all right, screw it, I got to start something. So I started podcasting, and then it just kind of evolved into what it is now, just over the course of a year. And Easy was following me, and I was just like, yeah, love the I was like, yeah, love your content, would love advice, love Woodward Sports. And he was like, yeah, well, I'll be keeping my eye out. And then just through staying connected, he reached out and recommended me, and here I am. So
That's amazing. I love that.
yeah, yeah. So he's a funny dude. I can imagine the three of us and then other people in the stands. I think we would probably get kicked out by the third quarter, but it would
Hey, if you didn't get kicked out, it wasn't a good time.
be exactly. Speaking of the Pistons though, like as someone that like basketball, obviously that's seems like a sport you're pretty well connected with.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like, do you watch the Pistons a whole lot right now, and what do you think of them? Like what's been your thought of late?
Right now,
Yeah.
they're playing great basketball.
Oh, it's so fun right now.
It's
Yeah.
so fun right now. You would ask me like a month ago, I'd be like, I'm turning that off.
Oh yeah. Well,
But
when we lost like 9 in a row in like February.
so bad. It was
Hmm.
so bad. And that was like, I don't even think Jeremy Grant was back at that time.
No.
I think he was still not playing.
No.
So
Yeah.
it was like, and Cade was so spotty. He was there and then he wasn't there, and then he was hurt and then he wasn't hurt. And now
Yep.
he's sick. I'm like, oh my God.
Same with
But
Killian too. Like he was there
yeah,
and then he wasn't. He was there and then
the
he wasn't.
whole it was so weird because you could never, and it made sense because they didn't have any chemistry whatsoever. It
Right.
just was like five guys walked on a court from the streets and they don't know who each other are. They've never talked to each other, and
Right.
there's no play being called whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
It's yeah. Yeah.
oh, and they
Exactly.
have no idea what defense is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, oh, by the way, hey, go guard Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And then the next night, oh, by the way, the Phoenix Suns are coming in town. We got it, right?
Well, and then they would be like, oh, typical Detroit fashion. Let me lose to every team ever, and then I'll beat the good teams.
Yeah, Detroit logic. Like, especially like last year. Like, I'm not sure if you watched a whole lot last year, but like we just imagine without Cade Cunningham and like majority of the
Right.
season, no Killian Hayes, and it's just, oh, okay, we just beat the Brooklyn Nets who have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and
Right.
Kevin Durant. Like,
Right.
yep, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's totally something we should be doing right now. Oh,
Yes, it's typical Detroit fashion. I don't understand why, but no, I love the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
It's so good to see, especially at this point in the season, because it gives you hope for next year,
yeah.
which we knew we would have anyways,
Right.
because we knew this was a year we weren't going to win games. We
Right.
knew this was a year that we were going to suck.
Yep.
But it gives me so much more hope because like a month ago, I was like, crap, we're still going to suck real bad next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
I think
prepare.
I think it's the thing of like, with Cade, like he's so good, you know what I mean? And he came in playing really well, but like there's a difference between playing really well and playing really well and affecting winning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think Cade had to learn how to win at this level.
Mhm.
I mean, there was that I'm not sure if you heard, there was like actually like right before the Boston game, like Dwayne Casey, like they had like a team meeting. They're like, all right, let's air out all our grievances. Let's get it on the table and let's move on. And so like apparently after that too, and having Marvin Bagley as well, who everyone said was a bust. I mean, hey, that has
he's
been
killing it.
yeah, that has been a diamond in the rough, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I too, like we talked about this on the show a lot. Like Cade is a person who, in our rookie of the year talks, you know, you look at Mobley,
Yeah.
and you're like, sure, he's great, he's got good stats, he's this, that, and the other thing. But you take him and you give him the Pistons, and he doesn't play like Cade.
Yeah, exactly.
Cade, you put on the Cavaliers, and he plays just as good, if not, he'll win way more games.
Oh, heck
but
yeah.
Cade, unlike Russell Westbrook, makes everybody else better.
Right. Well, and that's his game too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's not playing for himself. He's playing for the team, which is so cool because we haven't had that in a long time.
Right. And when you have a star that can both go get his, but also can help people get theirs too. And you know, especially man, Jeremy Grant's looked really good alongside Cade Cunningham. Who could have called that?
Adam.
who could have called that? Adam, I hope you're listening, by the way. Oh my gosh, that's probably our biggest point of contention, but it's always fun.
I love it.
Oh yeah, but yeah, even Jeremy Grant's been really fun. I don't know about you. The jury's still out for me on Killian. I don't think
I haven't seen enough.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, we've talked about this on the show too before. You know, it's like I don't expect him to be, because like, you know, anyone that sees a guy who can like do a step back of any form and shoots with their left hand for whatever reason, it's always, that's James Harden. That right there, that's James Harden. I see it. It's like, no, not even close. I saw someone comment on like a video or an article I wrote, and it was like, I think Killian could be like Oklahoma City James Harden. And I was like, I just wanted to know what level of crack use was used on that end. I wish they could show that through.
Smoking the pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his username was smoking the pipe. Sick. No, I'm kidding. But, but yeah, I mean, it's not that he has to be this amazing scorer. He just has to be an NBA level scorer, because he just doesn't. He can't do it consistently.
But he's also not given very much time. So like whenever he's played, he has not played more than like 10 minutes, which is like, okay, thank you for this preview of somebody that we have no idea who is yet, because we haven't even seen him for longer than 10 minutes a game, which isn't realistic, because you're being brought in and off on and off of the court, and you're playing with all these different guys. Like, they're not giving him any shot whatsoever to mesh with anybody that's out there. So what do you expect from him? You know what I mean?
And I think now that he's coming off the bench too, like, you know, I think people like get really, I think people overly analyze when people start or don't start games. I think it's, you know, it's not really about who starts games, it's about who finishes them, right? And I think the fact that, you know, Killian's actually, for one, has his own unit that he can handle the ball, and he can, you know, especially him and Marvin Bagley together. I even watched last night. They were awesome together. But, you know, also to, you know, not have to share that with Cade, because let's be honest, if Cade Cunningham's on the court, I'm putting the ball in Cade Cunningham's hands. That's just how it's going to work.
Every time.
Yeah, 100%. So,
which was the coolest thing about last night too, because they were not supposed to be in that game at all.
They were
without Cade, they were without Diallo. They literally just, who are you? I don't know. And they were like, but we're here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I've never heard of a Max Strauss in my entire life. Guy went off for 13 points in 3 minutes at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That was like the weirdest game I have ever seen in my entire life. I even saw Kelly Olynyk hit a Euro step, and I was like, just taken aback. I was like,
he is terrible.
So I will read this message without naming the person. But I am friends with a prominent Pistons beat writer. And I was at a game, and I asked him, I was like, what's going on with Kelly Olynyk? Like, is it just him getting back from COVID? Like, he hasn't really had much rhythm. And without naming names, they said, I think he just might be washed.
He's terrible.
Yeah, he's been better of late. He's been better of late, but he's not very good at all.
The fact that like we were excited to get him, no.
Okay, but like at the same time, when it's above, when it's not Mason Plumlee, when it's not Plum Dog Millionaire, it feels like a massive upgrade. You know what I mean?
I hear you and I understand, but oh my God.
I exclusively call him Plum Dog Millionaire, by the way.
I love
Exclusively.
that. Did
Yeah.
you know that my dodgeball team's name is Slum Dodge Millionaires?
I was gonna bring up the dodgeball team. I saw you're the dodgeball champion. You got the winning kill too.
Yes, I did. You should have told me we were going to talk about it. I would have brought my trophy. I'm
Oh
the
my
MVP.
gosh, I should have. Yeah, I remembered it during the I was like, that's right. She was the dodgeball champion of the world. Oh my gosh. No,
We
that's
killed it.
awesome. Yeah, you really did. Speaking of the Pistons, I know one thing. I remember one time you guys were talking about Dwayne Casey, and I think if I remember correctly, I don't think you're a Dwayne Casey fan.
I'm not.
You're not a fan, but but also not a fan.
I don't think he's the right coach for the Pistons, and I think his time is limited.
I
But
don't think he's the right coach for when we're winning a championship,
yes,
but I think he's the right coach for where we're at right now.
okay.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work in Toronto at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. I mean,
Right.
And are you telling me if he had Kawhi Leonard that they wouldn't have won a championship with no LeBron in his conference? That's the argument I like to make to people. People are like, oh, he was so bad. That's why Toronto fired him and then they won a championship. I'm like, they got Kawhi Leonard. What are you talking about? Like, what else do you want from him?
Right. No kidding.
Yeah, no LeBron, and you get the third best player in the world.
Yeah.
I would
Sure.
hope your team gets better.
Speaking of best players,
Oh boy.
who do you have for MVP?
Oh my gosh, for MVP in the NBA right now.
Uh-huh.
If my heart was deciding, it'd be Ja Morant 100%, because Ja Morant has been incredible. Like if I'm on League Pass and I'm like scrolling and looking for games to watch, Memphis is almost always the first team I turn on because they are unreal. If I'm being practical, I think it's probably going to be Jokic again. Jokic or Embiid is probably the race right now.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic is the weirdest player. Have you watched a whole lot of Jokic at all?
Yes.
He is a walking enigma. Like if you watch him, like I always make the point that I love Luka Garza, but whenever I see him run, it makes me physically uncomfortable. Nikola Jokic makes me even more uncomfortable. Yet somehow this sloth of a human being.
He literally looks like a sloth.
He literally does. And he plays like one too. And like he'll just like hit these like weird shots where he like has his arms over like this and he just slings it like that. It's like nothing but net. Like the guy he shouldn't be able to do everything he does in a basketball court, but he finds a way to do it. And it's insane.
Do you find Giannis in the conversation at all?
Oh, he's definitely got to be in the conversation. Like Giannis, it's kind of the LeBron syndrome where you're so great for so long, so consistently great that like people get bored of it. You know what I'm saying? I think the one thing that kind of like makes it hard for Giannis was that weird start to the season they had where Giannis wasn't really in the lineup and, you know, Milwaukee kind of had to climb back into the standings. Like they've had a weird year. However, like if you pay attention, like Giannis Antetokounmpo is a freak. Like you know, to me, like the best basketball player in the world, I have a hard time not saying it's Giannis Antetokounmpo because I mean even the weaknesses in his game, like what people like criticize him for, like his free throw shooting, like he like even when all those fans were like counting down like during the playoffs last year, which was like one of the craziest things I've seen fans like pick up and just do like in an instant.
Yeah.
Like he got over that quickly and started making clutch free throws. You know what I mean? Like everything about his game. Like even like how like people were like comparing him to like Ben Simmons, how they couldn't shoot. Like Giannis actually can shoot now. Like it's not great, but he can shoot. It's there.
Yeah.
You know, like
which is terrifying.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. It's like this guy already was unstoppable. Now he can shoot at 33%. It's like even that. It's like that would give me headaches if I had to defend him on a night-to-night basis. It's the man's terrifying for sure. I mean, what about you? Who's your favorite right now?
Well, I don't know. Do you see my daily tweets?
I do. Is it Ja? I thought it was
Oh,
Ja.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ja Morant for
Yeah.
MVP.
That's why I brought
Oh,
up
no question.
yeah, in my heart, without
Listen,
question.
I don't care about your heart.
You're like,
I
listen,
don't care
Sean,
about
I
your
don't give
heart.
a about your feelings. It's Ja Morant and it's nobody else.
We're not talking about feelings. We're talking about facts.
Yeah, he really has brought that team to another level. The
Oh
fact
my
that
god, he
the fact
brought
that
the
they're in
whole
the
NBA to another level this year.
Mhm. Mhm.
He started the 50-point games. He
Yeah.
brought the NBA alive.
Mhm. Yeah, that whole stretch he had like back in like December or January where he was like yamming on people every night, going out getting 40. Yeah. And like, I mean his shooting was a criticism as well. He has
Oh
a
yeah.
really good jump shot too. I mean, if I'm a New Orleans Pelicans fan or if I'm the general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm kicking myself a little bit. I'm not going to lie because as of right now, Zion over Ja seemed to be a little bit of a mistake. Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
No, I don't blame you though. The one thing is though, and I think it is a valid concern is what they're going to be able to do in the playoffs. I mean, I trust Ja and I trust his clutch ability. However,
Mhm.
historically, young teams do struggle in the playoffs,
Mhm. Yeah.
So, it is interesting because, even though like we count out like I mean, I can't even think to say that the Lakers will be in the postseason, but like let's say somehow they like LeBron just like drags them through a play-in again, and for whatever reason they like face Memphis in the playoffs. Like I'm not feeling super comfortable about picking Memphis on that, just solely because at least LeBron and AD have gotten it done
Yeah.
before. You know what I mean? And at the end of the
And
day,
like you look at too like the size of the Lakers over Memphis.
mm-hmm,
They have it.
mm-hmm,
So it's like regardless of but but they have technical players.
yeah,
So
they
it's
do.
and the Lakers are so
Oh, they're
inconsistent.
terrible. They're
And like the games that they win are like LeBron's meditating in the like I don't know
yeah.
and
Have
I'm
you
like, are you good?
So I'm not sure if you've seen this stat or not, but since the All-Star break, the Lakers are 0-8 when LeBron doesn't score 50 points. So
Well,
current
he has 3 in a row.
at this current point, they literally can't win a game if LeBron doesn't score 50.
Well, yeah, because you got freaking Russell Westbrook over here shooting bricks.
Yeah, 100%. I Which, by the way, so when that trade went down, I was actually in my car driving to the LCA for the draft party for the NBA draft, and
I was so upset.
so when it happened, my friend was like, his jaw dropped, and he was like, "The Lakers just traded for Russell Westbrook," and we all went, "Oh my
Right.
god!" And like one of my friends said, "Oh my god, they're gonna dominate." And I
No,
said, and I said, and I
no.
said, "Oh my god, they're gonna suck." And then I heard all
Can't
off
play on
season,
a superstar team.
yeah, yeah, like
Never
all
has,
off,
never
yeah,
should.
yeah, all off season from all these experts. The fact that this team is old is actually an advantage, not a detriment. They're gonna be able to get it done when it matters most. And this team from day one, I mean day one, looked putrid, absolutely terrible. And honestly, it's not even fair to our listeners that we even have to talk about them. It's not even worth our time. Like,
Sorry, I do still
no,
love him though.
we do.
Love him forever.
Do you
But he
think
belongs on his own team with a bunch of nobodies so that he can just do his thing.
if you
And
were if you were Russell Westbrook's agent, like let's say you're his agent and you're
sure,
advising him on his next step,
boy.
what are you advising him? Do you think he should go to like a small market team, just keep trying to get triple doubles and ride out his career just being Russ? Or do you
Hmm.
think this could actually be a wake up call for him?
Actually, let's make this fun.
Let's do it. This
What
wasn't
team?
fun to begin with. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, talking about Russ really puts a damper on the day. But I
You're not
just want
wrong.
to remember him for who he
Yeah,
was,
that's true. That's
not who
fair.
he is.
That's fair.
But let's make this fun. What team do you think he would fit best on right now? If everything stayed the same.
All right, if everything stayed the same, my team for him would actually be the Knicks because
Okay.
the reason why is because I think listen, it's a team that's whole identity and whole the way they play. Like Tom Thibodeau is such like a effort coach,
Mhm.
and I think in a system where like it's like all about playing like intense defense. If he comes in and like can be like the sixth man and like lead their second unit or something like that, I think that would actually be like a really good fit for him. And also for him, it would satisfy like that kind of ego thing too, because he get to play in the Garden. If he puts up like a triple double in the Madison Square Garden, he's gonna be feeling himself. Even if he's a six man, he's gonna have fun with that. But
Yep.
wherever he goes next, I think he's gonna have that Carmelo moment where he like realizes where he's at in his career. Because
Yes.
if he wants to go, like he could have stayed on the Wizards and had another year where they're like the 10th or 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. But like
Mhm.
again, it's just at a certain point, you're getting older. His athleticism's not there. Your game's got to adapt.
Right.
And
For sure.
it just hasn't.
It just it has not.
Yeah, exactly. What
I
about
don't know
you?
though that he would be a fit in New York.
Yeah, my one uh hesitancy would be pairing him with Julius Randle because I don't know if Julius Randle's the kind of guy that plays well with others either. I think he's
Sure.
very Westbrook like in the way that he's very much himself and doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
And that change he needs to make is being able to play with his other hand, because it's like I'm not sure if you've ever heard the Stephen A. Smith thing about him, but it's always he's going left. They know he's going left.
Yeah.
Like it's never
Mhm.
a shock. So
Yeah.
that would be the one thing. But again, that's the other thing. I don't think there is a glove fit for Russ because
There's
he
not.
has to be the fit for them. It can't be the other way around anymore.
Exactly. No, unfortunately. But I think like hmm.
Not
I could
Detroit. I know
yeah.
that. God no.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. That would I said this before. Russell Westbrook in Detroit would be just as good as Blake Griffin in Detroit,
Yeah, it
okay?
would be literally the same thing.
The same thing.
Mhm.
I said that on the show and Adam tried to give me shit. I was like,
No,
get out.
no, it's the same thing. You're getting a former all-star to come in who will put up all-star numbers, but
He's
at the
got
end of
no
the
place in
day,
Detroit.
but at the end of the day, your best case scenario is the play-in and to be an NBA purgatory, just like we were with Blake. It's not an insult. It's just that's true.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I could put Russ again, it would hurt. Like it wouldn't be great. Like there
Mhm.
would be some rough edges.
Mhm.
But in Charlotte,
Okay. I could see Charlotte. I could see Charlotte.
because I don't think those guys would really mind, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it would be
Like
interesting to
LaMelo
see.
was,
I mean, I could
maybe.
on the fast break, him, Lamelo, and Miles Bridges. As far as like, if we're just going for like the swaggiest team, they would win so many awards just off of that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just off of that, they would be going hard. But yeah, uh, it's been cool to see Isaiah Thomas for them. By the way, going off. I actually when he made his comeback, like when he was like he played like one game in the G League before he went to the Lakers. I actually
Yeah,
went to that game and got a selfie with him like front row. It was in my
that's
hometown.
so cool. I
Uh-huh.
love that.
Yeah, and so I got to watch him put up 40 just like coming off the couch, just going into the G League. The guy's a bucket.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. It's, "Oh, hey, what's up? I'll just drop 40 on you guys. No biggie."
No big deal.
Yep. And it's like, "Oh, hey, Lakers are calling? All right, catch you guys later. Have a good one."
Oh, the Lakers.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Lakers, the Lakers, the
Yeah.
Lakers.
100%. Do you who's your title favorite, by the way? Who do you like? Like what team do you watch and say it's hard to see this team not winning the finals?
Oh,
I think the Suns are getting it done this year. That's my opinion.
yes. The Suns. Um, hmm.
I know it's tough. The NBA has so many good teams.
Tough. Well, and it's like there's so many. So like I have such a hard time picking a team now because
Yeah.
it's not a team game anymore.
Yeah.
All growing up I was like, we hate the Celtics. Now it's like, oh, I just hate this player and this player and this player and this
Yeah,
player.
exactly. The only team I hate, okay, well, I lied. There's two. It's the
I'm waiting.
Lakers, and then I'm also, I hate the 76ers. I
Oh,
can't stand the 76ers.
for some reason, I thought you were going to say the Bulls, and I was going to punch you in the
Oh,
face.
I love the Bulls.
Me too.
When I was younger, I got to go to some games at the United Center. Like, I love like the Chicago atmosphere. Like, like it's history. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and plus, I didn't grow up during the Jordan era, so like I don't have to hate them because I
Right.
didn't have to see them rival with my
Sure.
Pistons. So I can just pretend that's not there and still love both.
Yep.
I get to have my
Uh,
cake and eat it too. It's pretty nice.
there you go. Oh, okay. So honestly, I'll have a hard time picking between the Suns and the Heat.
Okay, I like
I
that. The Heat are unreal. Like they
I
are
don't like
very underrated.
I don't like them
Oh no, I don't like them either. No,
though.
I don't like them either. No, I mean like I respect them, but like even like they're like such a crappy sports town. Like I even watching last night, like seeing how like the arena wasn't even full to like halfway through the second quarter. It's like fans just rolling in late. Like, we'll get there when we get there. Like I could
Right.
never be that person. Like I'm like
Not when your team is that good.
exactly. It's like that's exactly my point. I'm like you
Like, the
guys.
Pistons are terrible, so yes, we are empty most of the time,
Uh-huh.
but if
Yeah.
your team is that good, are you kidding me? Can you picture the Pistons being that good? There won't be a seat inside Little Caesars
I would
Arena.
literally be homeless so that I could get season tickets. Like
Yeah, I'm
I would go sneak in that crack house that's right next to the LCA, which
Yep.
can I just say by the way, I have friends. We looked it up. Do you know how much that house is for sale for?
No.
There's a crack like do you know what house I'm talking about by the
I
way?
know
Like
exactly what house
yeah,
you're talking about.
that house is on sale for $4 million.
Shut up!
I am not joking. I literally googled
It's
like
literally a trap house.
yeah, we were standing right there. We were waiting in line to get into the
Oh
building
my
because we
god.
were we were walking in right next to it. I googled crack house Little Caesars Arena and it popped up.
Of
Like
course it did.
like literally like the first thing and it's like
Oh my gosh.
yeah, which it is the ugliest sight. Like if I had to say like there is no major city quite like Detroit where there's just things like that right in the open. But like
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that would be the dopest Airbnb business on the face of the planet. But $4 million,
Yes. Right.
unreal, unreal. Oh my
I can't
god.
even. I wonder what the inside looks like.
Oh yeah, me too. I don't want to know, but I do want to know at the same
Oh, I
time.
wanna know.
Imagine if it's like modern and looks like one of those like like a Home Depot section where they're showing you like all the nice stuff you gotta get.
It's just, like, decked out on the inside,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
crystal floors.
Yep. Here's the massage chairs. Here's the big plasma screen.
Right, we got a
Yeah.
movie theater in the basement,
Yeah.
basketball court down there and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, bowling alley, everything, the works. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
7 bedrooms.
Oh my
It's
it's
just
like
like a low-key
yeah,
mansion.
it's like in Harry Potter when they have those tents, but when you walk into them, it's like a
It's
mansion.
like,
It's exactly that. Yeah, 100%.
oh my god.
100%. Oh man. So I guess before we're kind of starting to wrap up a little bit, the we got to talk hockey because I know you're a big Red Wings fan. I got to ask, what do you think of what's going on with the Red Wings right now? The thing that's been cool about starting at Woodward is I've been catching up more. Like I like hockey, but I have a
Yeah,
hard time paying attention until the playoffs. That's just how I am
sure.
with hockey.
Mhm.
But I mean, I have tuned in for quite a few games this year, and man, it's a fun team to watch.
It's a very fun team to watch. It's a little frustrating at times,
Mhm.
especially, like, they're
When they
having
lose
these
9-2.
just even, like, the high scoring games, like, that's not hockey.
Yeah,
Like, why are we like, losing 7-5? Like, that's not a hockey score. That
right,
is not what's supposed to happen here.
right.
So a little frustrating, but also, like, I think a lot of it is the coaching, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And just now's not the time to replace the coach in the middle of the season, but
yeah,
I don't see him sticking around very long.
yeah.
The coolest thing is Iserman Like I
Oh,
trust him like a Brad Holmes,
yeah. I
and
feel like
even
we
more
have
than Holmes.
yeah, I feel like 3 out of our 4 teams in Detroit right now have a general manager that, like, everybody loves, that, like,
Yeah,
everyone's in on. I
which is
feel like
amazing.
yeah, like, the only team I think that has, like, a divisive front office is the Tigers with Al Avila. But, like, even then, it's like, there's still things you can look at and say, like, "Oh, there's positive things." You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't suck.
Yeah, that's exactly it's like he doesn't suck, but he doesn't inspire you to go out there and get super pumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with Iserman, with the Lidstrom edition, like I am so excited to see where this goes, which makes me a little concerned because when Lidstrom came in, they were like, "Oh, he's going to help with the defensive coordinating," and then it's
Mhm.
like, I'm like, okay, what just happened? This was supposed to go this way. Um, but I'm super excited to see what they end up doing with like the coaching staff and everything because I do anticipate some changes being made there.
Mhm.
Um, but the team is so young,
Yeah.
and for them to be playing the way that they are, I mean, you look at like player of the week in the NHL and like all these like, oh, best players in the league, like we've got multiple on the board most of
Yeah.
the time. So and to see Larkin be this young captain and really
Yes.
taking on that captain position. We've had 4 captains in the last 36 years.
Mhm.
4.
Mhm. Yeah.
So like he's taken that on and it shows how much
Embraced it.
like
Yeah.
everybody oh yeah, and everyone respects him. It's like the coolest thing to watch him just like grow as this young player still because he's still young as hell,
Right.
and he's got these other kids underneath him, and like Sider and Raymond are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
um, Nedeljkovic, I think, is a great goalie, and I think he's going to do really well.
Mhm.
He played great like the first half of the season, and then they started playing with like pulling him and putting him in, and somebody playing 10 minutes here, and
Yeah.
somebody. I hate that. That drives
Yeah.
me absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
I feel like goaltending, like from what I can tell, is such a rhythm thing too. It's like
Oh,
it's having reps, it's consistency, and like I knew when I generally tend to trust what DMAC says
yeah,
about the team. Like whenever I hear like about like, oh, the coach has got to go at first, I'm like, oh well, that's what everyone blames at first. But then when I
everyone says that.
yeah, but then when I saw DMAC literally hiding behind his chair, looking at the look that Iserman had against the Coyotes, I mean that
Yeah.
said it all. That said it all.
Uh-huh.
I've never
And
seen a
it's
man look that pissed in my life.
I don't hate him, but he hasn't been a good fit in Detroit since he started. Like
Right.
it's just been a weird like,
Right.
but no, the team is doing great. They've exceeded expectations from this year. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're having a little bit of a stint, but they haven't been consistent the entire year.
Mhm.
So they've had their highs and they've had their lows. And right now we're just kind of at that low point, which is unfortunate. But again, they're still playing good hockey.
Yeah.
And we need help on the defensive end of the puck, um, because we've got goal scorers, which is the coolest thing.
Oh,
Like
100%.
we had a game about a month ago where we had 6 goals from 6 different players.
Oh man.
Like that's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I love that. That's good
Oh.
hockey.
Oh,
But
100%.
so I'm excited. They're going to be a winning team next year.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
they're going to have a great season. So I hope they have a new coach. But at the
Uh-huh.
same time, I'm okay with him staying one more year
Yeah. Yeah.
because the team is so new and
Mhm.
fresh, and giving him one more year to figure out what's happening with that team. I think he can still be a winning coach next year because the team will do it themselves.
Right.
But he's not going to take us to any type of playoff run, if you
Right.
will.
He's not the promised land coach. No, I
Correct.
I mean he was he was great in Grand Rapids. He was great with the Griffins and everything, but I mean the AHL and the NHL are two very different
Mhm.
levels, and it's not always the case that you can just bring a guy up and see immediate success. I mean, I've seen the
Yeah.
clips where it's just like you can tell it's like one of those things where you can just tell when guys are like not listening anymore or don't seem super inspired, and that's like
Yeah.
that's why like when with like the Pistons stuff, when people are like, oh well, Dwayne Casey, he'll be out of here soon, that's where I'm like, hold on, because like
If the guys respect him, that goes the furthest.
yeah, 100%, and that's the thing.
Still have the locker room, then you still got it going on.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Say what you will about Dwayne Casey, he has that locker room, and they
Yeah.
they love him, and
They love him, they love to play for him.
yeah,
So, that's
yeah,
what he has going for him, as
yeah.
long as he can get the team together.
Exactly. But with Blashill on the other hand, even clips I've seen, like there's just times where he'll just be yelling and like a veins about to pop in his freaking bald head of his. And like all of a sudden, like you could just look at these guys and they're just looking either way. It doesn't
Yeah,
affect them at all. It doesn't
yeah.
inspire anything different. They're just
Which, I mean, when I look at hockey, I mean, it is a lot of yelling
right.
because 'cause they're so far away,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's
Well,
you can
this was like when they were like this was like I'm thinking of the clip where he was like yelling at him in the Coyotes game. They're all huddled at the bench. This is like during a timeout, and he's like
Yeah, I know
yelling
what you're
at him,
talking about.
and they're all they couldn't give two shits. They're just sitting there like this is just our lives.
Yeah,
All right, I got dinner
thanks.
plans after.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna continue to play this game, like, we'll
Hmm.
see you in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But
Yeah.
no, I think they're going to be a winning team too. And I think that's kind of a perfect thing to wrap up on. What do you think? Because I think over the past decade, people have forgotten what Detroit sports is all about, especially when our teams are prominent and are winning.
Yeah.
If you had to characterize what do you think is the thing that people don't appreciate enough about Detroit sports or just the city of Detroit in general?
I think people forget, like, how much the team wants to play for Detroit just as
Yeah,
much as Detroit wants the team to play for them. You know what I mean?
right.
And like it's crazy because you think it and I feel it, but then you hear these guys and like you'll hear them on like when they're mic'd up in on football games and stuff and they're like, "You're right, man. I do love Detroit. Detroit is great."
Yeah,
And it's like where are you getting this like perception from? Like
right,
what is giving you this? And I would love to like have a player actually say something to like a an interview or something, but
right.
they love Detroit and they
Mhm.
love playing for Detroit and the play in Detroit is aggressive and gritty and that's just how it's always been
Right,
and it's not gone.
right.
Um Sports are different now, so the grittiness is different, but it's
Mhm.
the same. They still grind and they still are always playing their hearts out. Like we watch the Lions time in and time again, just like they play through the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I think fans forget is
yeah.
that regardless of how much we may or may not be winning,
Mhm.
we're always playing to win.
And I
So
also think Detroit has a special thing that not many sports cities do have where whenever our teams do find success, it's always when they embody the spirit of the city they're playing for. Like
mhm,
like whenever the Pistons are successful, it's when they're embodying that bad boy Pistons mentality,
exactly.
that grit and grind. We're not afraid of you. We're gonna come in and kick your ass every single night. Like
Mhm.
with the Tigers, it's kind of the same thing. They play like a hard nosed style of baseball. The Red Wings, I
Yeah,
mean, oh my God, when those teams have been good, it's guys like Darren McCarty who embody this city. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
Well, and I think too, like we talked about it before, like in Miami, the games were empty. Like in Detroit, yeah, they may be a little bit emptier, but we're still here.
oh,
Like
Lions
that's
games,
the
they're
other
like
thing.
sold out almost
Oh
all the
yeah,
time. It's crazy.
yeah. And it's like the fans are still there. The fans are still here. And like when there's more people, the teams want to play more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like
exactly.
they want to succeed more. So it's like if we can still get all those people out here, like Detroit is on game days, any
Mhm.
game day
Yeah,
is the best place to be.
exactly. Yeah, and even when you see like how much traction, how much prominence Woodward Sports already has just in its 1 year of being
Mhm.
around, and our teams aren't even good yet. Like imagine when Detroit's popping and like
Right.
when we're going to be the voices that are going to be able to like talk about these teams. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's the exciting thing. Is like we have this awesome community already and like we're just
Yeah.
getting started and we're
We're
all
just
just
getting
rising
started.
up together as a city. So it
The
is going to
coolest
be
part is so are all of the sports teams.
Mhm.
Everything is just going like this right now.
Mhm. Yeah, we're all going like this at the
We're
same
like, we're
time.
gonna peak at the same
It's gonna be a freaking awesome mountaintop, man.
time.
Oh my gosh. Dan Campbell will be cracking kneecaps for all of us to share around. It's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, Maddy, you're awesome. Thank you so much for being. You got to come back definitely
Oh
sometime.
yeah,
This
anytime. Let
this
me
was
know.
oh yeah, this was a blast. And be sure to check out the Morning Woodward Show. It's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes.
I'm on there on a good occasion. I've become a little bit of a regular, so always fun hopping on with you guys
Heck
too.
yeah, we love having you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much to everyone that's listening here. Be sure to like this, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to share with your friends and join the community. We talk all things basketball here on From Half Court. And we will thank you so much for listening in, and we will catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.